Welcome to Pro Training's Bloodborne Pathogens for the Workplace. Before we get going with the real nuts and bolts of the program, I think it's vitally important that we do one thing, and that's establish an understanding of why this training is important for you in the general workplace. You see, bloodborne pathogens are invisible. You can't tell if they're in blood or body products until you actually contract the disease, and that's too late. So what we're going to teach you in this course is how to recognize potentially dangerous situations and the simple steps on how to protect yourself by using a series of personal protective equipment, engineering controls, work practice controls, and how to clean up fluid spills properly. At the end of the day, the skills that you take away from this could not only save your life, but it could keep those that you love safe at home as well. I hope you enjoy this training. Let's begin. Do you know how to protect yourself from getting bloodborne diseases? Do you know what potential diseases you may face if you come in contact with somebody's blood or body fluids? Would you know what to do if a person started bleeding and blood was on the floor or other surfaces? The goal of this Bloodborne Pathogens course for the workplace is to help you know how to answer these questions and give you the knowledge and skills necessary to prevent you from getting a disease from bloodborne pathogens. This course is intended for employees who need OSHA-compliant bloodborne pathogens and infection control training. This course follows the OSHA Bloodborne Pathogen Standard 29 CFR 1910.1030, which requires the following. Training must be given at the time of the initial assignment to tasks where occupational exposure may take place. Annual training for all employees shall be provided within 1 year of their previous training. Employers shall provide additional training when changes such as modification of procedures or tasks or institution of new tasks or procedures affect the employee's occupational exposure. The additional training may be limited to addressing the new exposures created. Pro Bloodborne for the Workplace includes the following bloodborne pathogens and infection control training. It includes basic terms related to the bloodborne pathogens, how bloodborne pathogens and infectious diseases are spread, HIV and AIDS, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, how to reduce risks of exposure, engineering controls, work practices to protect yourself, personal protective equipment, skin diseases, exposure control plans, proper cleanup and decontamination procedures, hazardous disposal, and procedures to follow if an exposure incident occurs. This course is intended to be equivalent to no less than 1.5 hours of training related to bloodborne pathogens and infection control, especially related to the workplace. The whole program will consist of not only the lecture videos, but opportunities for you to actually ask questions via chat, email, and phone to the instructors who taught you. Also, you should take time to practice the skills taught, such as how to don and remove contaminated gloves, contaminated surface or tool cleanup, and proper hand washing as taught in these videos. At the conclusion of the lecture series and your practice with hands-on components, you'll then go on to a written test, at which point you'll be verified that you've retained the valuable information required to be certified for your annual bloodborne pathogens training, specifically for the workplace. We also encourage you to remember that it's as long as you opt in to our reminder emails, you'll receive a weekly email that helps update you to the latest changes or the training topics that were covered in your initial training. This is important if you want to retain those valuable skills to help protect you from needless infection from bloodborne pathogens.